Ja, herzlich willkommen beim BIFFF. Wir haben hier die Regisseure vom heutigen German Focus Abend. Wir haben Andreas Kleinert, wir haben Harun Hazar, wir haben Gregor Buchkremer und wir haben einen der Schauspieler der Hauptrolle, die haben die Hauptrolle gespielt in Present, genau, Hazar. Wenn Sie Fragen stellen wollen, können Sie das selbstverständlich auf Deutsch machen, allerdings laufen die Interviews wie immer auf Englisch ab. Wenn Sie eine Übersetzung benötigen sollten, können Sie sich aber melden.
Dus de Q&A zal in het Engels verlopen. On va faire le Q&A en anglais. S'il y a des personnes qui veulent poser leurs questions en français, en of er mensen zijn die een vraag willen stellen in het Nederlands, dan mogen ze dat gerust doen. Faites à l'aise, posez votre question en français. Et s'il y a quelqu'un qui a besoin d'une petite traduction, si on peut les aider. So, thank you all for being with us tonight. There's different movies here. We're going to, ask the questions a bit separately. But first of all, I'd like to ask you what you think of the atmosphere here at the BIFFF. You can have a microphone.
It's the first time that I'm in this festival, and I think it's a great atmosphere. It's a little bit like a big market. And I really like the location and all the audience screaming with the movie and talking to the actors. I've seen that in the big room right now. It's really great, really.
Yeah, I think so too. And the audience is very, very honest and very direct. And I want to thank the organization too. They are very, very, very nice to us. Thank you.
The atmosphere is fantastic. I enjoy really very much. Thanks.
Yes, it's not my first time in Brussels, but I'm every time glad about to be here, not only for the beer. And now we are interested in your questions, and I feel that you are very open and very directly too. And so I hope we have a good talk together.
Maybe we can start with you, Andreas, with Head Under Water. So first, welcome. Hello. Your movie takes place in a small community, in a village. Do you think it's kind of a representation of the society, with all the social conventions, with everybody that knows each other?
It's so noisy that I understand you very bad, but I think I understand your question. This is a village, you can find it in Belgium, you can find it in France, you can find it in Germany. It's a real small community. Yes, everybody knows each other, and it's a very brave atmosphere. The people are really good to each other. You think in the beginning of the film that it's a really friendly village, and in the end you know that every person in this village is a little devil, and they change their characters. But I don't know. So many people not saw the film, I think. So I'm not sure. But it's a big change in the film of human being, and in the beginning you spear that the people have a hope, and you have an outsider, and then it's so noisy. The outsider is a winner in the end of the film.
You're kind of exploring the duality between each character, the duality, like the good aspects and the bad aspects. There's a kind of a motto like, you can't survive if you're good. I mean, the only decent character, like the only really truly character with the musical teacher, get killed, cold blood kill. So do you think you can't survive if you're just good?
This musician teacher is the only good person in this film, and she has to die. That is what I mean. That is my opinion. She's too good for this world.
Okay, you as well exploit the humor. There's a lot of humor, irony in this movie, and maybe it is counterbalanced by the colors, the dark colors as well. What did you do to not go too further into humor? How did you deal with the humor in this movie?
to tell a film about our society today, it's better in a way which is full of humor, and so I try to have a way to have a serious theme, but to have in the story so much jokes and strange things that you can laugh. But in the end of the film, you have both emotions inside. You have it's also a tragedy in this film, and so you have a conflict in yourself, and it's not really a black comedy. It's also a little bit melancholic, this film, and that's why I was so surprised that I'm invited to this festival, but I'm glad to be here.
Maybe we can move on to a few questions to our other guests, unless there's a straight question out of the blue for about the movie Head on the Water. I don't know.
Y a-t-il des questions à propos de Head on the Water dans le public?
Sinon, on y reviendra après, hein, pas de problème. So I have a question for Harun. I saw you made quite some short movies already, and also some commercials, and I think music videos also. And then you made one 30-minute movie, right? And this one is a little bit longer already, 53 minutes. What's the next step? Are you going to? I mean, is this a normal the evolution that you had foreseen, and what's coming up next?
Yeah, I hoped that it will be a long feature, because mid-length film is a little bit, you can't take part to the short competition, and you can't take part by long feature competition. So mid-length is very hard, but the next one will be a long feature.
And so where did you get the idea for this movie, apart from what you told us before about your father loving film noirs and so on?
Yeah, I'm very interested in remembrance and memory, and I made a short movie, the prologue of this longer movie called Gift, in black and white, and the German spectators wanted to know more about this protagonist, Marusella. So I made my thoughts, and I have a lot of fantasy, I think, and so I'm on a fantastic festival. So
now that you mentioned the black and white, were you tempted to shoot this movie also in black and white?
No, Gift, I shot it in color, and then I made it in black and white. So because the origin film noir is in black and white, and now my photographer said to me, "Hey, let's try to do a colored movie." So I turned black and white in color, and made the rest in color too.
I have also a question for you, Hazar. I mean, this is a really scary part you have in this film. I hope you're not very evil in real life, are you?
That was what I actually wanted to ask you too, is what does it feel like? Is it difficult to play such a magnificently evil character?
I always wanted to play a really bad guy. So I told Harun. So he gave me the chance to play the role. I enjoyed it really very much.
It's quite convincing. It's really evil looking.
But I'm in real life a good guy.
He's a very nice guy.
Zijn er ondertussen al vragen uit het publiek? Est-ce qu'il y a des questions dans le public? Bon, on va continuer encore un peu notre bonhomme de chemin.
Okay, so another question is, as people may or may not know, you're both from the Academy for Media Art from Cologne. And did you actually know each other during your studies, or not at all?
Not really, but I think this is the question for Gregor now.
wow, the intimate things now are for me. No, I know him and he knows me, but we never visited the same seminars, and I always thought he does completely different things to me. And when I heard that he did like a genre movie, I was quite surprised. And but now we are together here. That's really nice, really.
And in that same vein, we were actually thinking both of your grad projects, the graduation.
Yes, yes, they are our diploma movies. Yes.
And I suppose you got a good diploma for this.
Yes, we did, yes. But it was quite kind of surprising because I thought you only get a good diploma with a social critic problem migration movie in Germany, but we did not.
Yeah.
So we chose something else and did a good graduation. That's kind of nice.
And another question about that. Actually, it said somewhere in the information I got that you had 2 graduation projects. You had Rent, No Utilities, and you had a movie called Speed Dating.
Yes.
Could you tell us something about that?
About the other movie. To make it short, it's about people dying because they don't have a partner. It's like an epidemic, and singles are dying on the open street. And my main character is looking for a girl to fall in love with because he doesn't want to die. So it's like really bad against all those par-shipping things that are surrounding us all the time. It's a comedy, but people are dying, more people than in Rent, No Utilities.
We also had a question about this whole hikikomori thing. Although it turns out in the end it's not really about that, right? But still, where did you get the idea for that? My colleague here told me there's a manga in Japan about this.
I don't know if you heard about it. NHK, it's called.
Yeah, I heard about that, but whilst already shooting the movie, when I wrote the script, it was just about. I was thinking about people taking it always very personally if you don't tell them everything. You know, when you just want to be alone and you don't want to be asked by anyone and disturbed, and people are always like, why doesn't he tell me? And that was the main idea for making this movie. I wanted to have a main character who's not seen throughout the film, and the others go nuts about that.
It's really about the other characters going nuts. In fact, they're the real deranged ones.
The hikikomori thing is not there, but the film is still about the theme. It's not about the hikikomori, but it's about this problem somehow.
I also like the little wink you did all the time with showing the hamster in his cage. Is that, I suppose, a lot of times you show Tessa's hamster in his cage. Is that supposed to be a parallel to the guy who doesn't get out of his room? Or?
Yes, a little. But the main point was showing this hamster because in the last time you see this hamster, the cage is empty, and you know that she has put his dead body into this glass of water. So that's why I was always showing this hamster. So keep that in mind. There is a hamster, and then he's gone.
Est-ce qu'on a des questions dans le public entre-temps? Oui. Le micro, s'il vous plaît.
Sorry. Yes, comment to Andreas Kleinert film. It gave me quite a frightening impression of the guy that survived, that the boy was in fact a manipulator, and it's quite frightening of having a perspective of this. As you said, from an outsider, he's becoming a winner, but I had the impression that he's a hidden assassin that lives in the society, and in the future he'll become a person like August Dill was in the film. So.
And excuse me, what was the question?
So
it was an opinion.
Just a comment.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot.
But I have also a question to Harun Hazar. Was the script the same like that from the beginning, or did you change during the shooting or while you were assembling the scenes?
First, I wanted to make a movie, because not really a movie. I want to make 4 shorts, and you can 4 combine in a row whatever you want. Yeah, to have a whole story. And then by the second and third episode, I lost 120 minutes of original material. So I couldn't realize it like I wanted to. and by the fourth episode, I make a whole story to complete this movie. I have to develop it.
Harun, we do get the impression in your movie that you don't want to make everything explicit for the viewer. You have to guess a little bit to really understand what's unfolding. Sometimes events happen, but you don't show them, right? You really, I get a feeling you have a minimalistic approach to making explicit what's happening really. So is that because maybe you're allergic to I don't know, Hollywood movies who tend to over-explain everything 10 times?
Yeah, over-explain is it's not necessary, and I love to make the spectators think about or to open their fantasy. And fantasy is more cruel than something you can see, and that's the point. I love these movies too, so I try to make it like the others I like.
Zo, est-ce qu'il y a encore des questions dans le public? Zijn er nog vragen? Iemand?
Andreas, there's a lot of symbols in your movie, in your feature. What about maybe I was wondering about the deer. What is the symbol of the deer? You see, a deer is trapped, is wild as well. It causes an accident.
The mystery of a symbol is that the director says nothing about the symbol, because I hope that everybody has his own associations, and for me, is a deer a little bit the principle nature, a little bit a desire to be a clear character, and she's the opposite of a devil. But for other people, it's more like that. Or you have to be free with symbols. I'm not for. It's like when you read Kafka, you have not one symbol with one translation, and so I hope you feel free to have your own fantasy. Okay.
And what about the title in English as well? Head on the water. It's quite different from Der Freischwimmer. And what does it stand for? I mean, when you have the head on the water, there's kind of the hidden reality as well. There as well, you're in the same situation as the main character. I mean, you're kind of deaf as well.
You give the best answers. It's correctly. It's under the water means you hear not so much, like the main actor, and it is also a symbol to be outside of the reality, to be not in confrontation with with reality. You have good ideas, but you can have more associations when you see the film more and more, and when you have 4 times you saw the films, and you have, I think, 10 possibilities.
Okay. A question to Gregor. There have actually been only a few people on screen in all of your movie. And linked to that, I was wanting to ask you, how did you actually cast your actors for that kind of for a movie? And that goes for you too. How do you choose your cast for a great project which is basically a low-budget movie?
Yes, I thought, although it's a low-budget movie, I really need great actors. Of course, I think every director should think that way and not think, I don't have enough money, I take bad actors better. So we made a casting in Berlin, because most of the actors live in Berlin, and most of the actors I wanted to have lived in Berlin. And so some people came. It was not a big casting like you can imagine for a Hollywood movie or something. But then we chose different types. And the red-haired one, Kati in the movie, she was really great in the casting, although I was looking really for a Hitchcock blonde or something, and she's not. She's nearly looking like a Liv Ullmann, a little, I think. But she was so great. She had something in her eyes, and I thought she has to play this part. So that's the way we did the casting. Me and my best friend, we did it together.
And
So for the casting,
yeah, sure.
yeah, yeah, the bad guy. He already said he wanted to play a bad guy. I made a short, 30 minutes long, before Gift, the prologue of this movie present, and he played a role, and I liked his playing. So he asked me for a bad guy figure. So I made him a bad guy, and Marusella, the main actress in my movie, played in this 30 minutes short too. A very thin, very small role, and I liked her playing, and her, yeah, she's very beautiful. So it's femme fatale, need a beautiful girl, I think, and she's very distanced. And Sergei, perhaps I wanted to have a biter like in the Moonraker, a tall man with like this, and I saw him because a girlfriend of mine said to me, "I got a biter for you. He's a very good actor." And I asked him, and he loved my prologue movie, so he said, "Yeah, man, I wanted to do this."
And another question for Gregor is, because your movie is with a limited number of people, the whole set takes place, the whole story takes place in one and the same spot. Did you think about adapting this to theater?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I don't think it's necessary now, because it's already been made as a movie, and I'm not sure if it will work out in a theater. I'm not sure. It's not really my thing, writing theater plays, but maybe one day someone will come and say, "Oh, let's make it a big Broadway musical." I don't know.
I don't know about the musical part.
Harun, in your movie, first of all, I would like to say that the music and the sound atmosphere was really beautiful all along. So I wanted to ask you about the main song that we hear, and also maybe if you'd like to say something about the jazz that you've chosen for the movie, it might be interesting. And also, it's also linked to sound. There's this torture scene where they torture the girl, or where you torture the girl with the radio, right? This switching channels and it's true, it's a really annoying sound. You might imagine torturing someone with it. Where did you get the idea for this?
First to Marusella, I heard the song I think 4 years ago, and it's a little bit like a mafia story too. And mafia, it's for me Italy. So Renato Carosone is a very, very famous songwriter from the 40s and 50s, and I love this song, and I wanted to have it in my movie because it's emotional. It's very emotional. And the second question about the jazz, I love jazz music, and I have a friend. He's I think a very good musician, and I worked a lot with him for the music, to have controversy, music to the sound, to the pictures. And the sound design, I love good sound design in the movies, because the sound is very important and very, it's another level, you know. You can produce atmosphere, it's my opinion, with the sound. And good sound is very, very important for me.
But so basically the song, which has the same name as the main character, inspired in the main character?
Of the song, yeah.
Yes, it would be a big coincidence, of course. Yeah. Est-ce qu'il y a encore d'autres questions entre-temps dans le public? N'hésitez pas à les poser, même en français. Indien er nog vragen zijn? Oui, je vous en prie.
To all the directors, how do you explain why German movies so seldom get theatrically released in other countries. You don't get to see that much German movies. So what's the reason for that?
I think it's the same problem like for Polish films or Portuguese films or Spanish films. I think we have one big country which is the most important cinema country, and for German films and for Russian films it's not easy. And so you can see some, I think Fatih Akin you had here in Belgium, and you have Das Leben der Anderen, but the most of the German film production is not here. And for us it's the same, that we have the desire to see Belgian films, but we see also not so many films. You have to go to festivals to see it, or you can see it about the TV. That's a tragedy of the European community. We are together, but we are not really together. That's pity, very pity. That's why it's good that we have festivals.
No, it's not on. Okay. I just wanted to answer something else, but it's true what he says. I think some of the directors who get successful in Germany, they soon really run to Hollywood. I know a few who really made their first feature and it was not even that good. But then Hollywood said, okay, the Germans can deal with money, and he already made a film, so let's get him. So that's the truth, I guess. They don't stay in Germany to make more good movies. They run away.
And do you think it might be a language problem also? Because they think that they will never get as big in an audience?
Yes, I think so. So I can't explain another reason. I can't find another reason for Michael Haneke doing another remake of Funny Games now in Hollywood. And he did exactly the same film, just in English. And I think he just had the same thought and thought, okay, now I make money again, but now in the US. It's okay, I can understand that, but it's not really original. So.
That's what I want to ask you about. You said running away. Well, I mean, you've made your first movie here in Germany, but if you were offered a great project somewhere else, well, America really, Hollywood, with all the actors you could think of, all the money you could think of, would you say no?
No, I wouldn't say no. I think no one would say no, but I would come back, of course.
We have another question for Harun also. You have your own band or club, Das Kollektiv. Can you tell us a little bit about it? What is it exactly? How does it function? And also, as we understand it, you started this before going to film school. Is that right?
It was very hard before film school to convince people to realize a movie. So, and I don't like the atmosphere in professional production teams, and so I tried to get people, and now they are good till best friends who wants to make a movie with passion, with all the energy they have, and I try to build a team with makeup stylists, with another DOPs and the photographer and so on, to realize the movies we wanted to do. And there are artists, and so we realized now 3 movies, and it will go on, and I'm very happy about it.
Vielleicht noch eine Frage aus dem Publikum, des questions dans le public.
N'hésitez pas à les poser, pas de problème. Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap it up right now. Maybe we can ask those of you who haven't talked about it yet what the future projects are. What's coming up next?
I hope my first feature, but that will take maybe about a year and a half, because I just finished a script for my first feature, and I got two producers who will do that, and they're very good, and they really believe in the story, and it's a thriller again, but it's more, I think it's more horror than this one. And I really hope that we get a lot of money, because we will need it, really. So I think this would be my best case scenario.
The next projects are music clips for 4 bands, and then a product company asked me for realizing a low budget cinema movie, and they writing now the screenplay. It will be a road movie through Germany and Balkan, and and I'm writing 3 other stories now, and it will be, everything is a process. We will see.
Oops. In the summer we make a psychological drama. It's a film about the middle of the life. You are too young for this. No, you can come. No, because I'm also a professor, and I have students in the age of this both sympathetic students, and that's why I yet with sympathy. No, and in the springtime, in the next springtime, I make a true story. It's a kind of Brokeback Mountain during the Cold War. It's a true story of an American soldier which was 25 years in prison, and he was in love to a security officer in East Germany. And it's really a true story, and this is in springtime.
Right. How about Hazar? You also have projects coming up?
I suppose I have some project with Harun. Hope it will be realized soon. Thanks.
Also, for all the directors among us, it's a classical question one of our colleagues always likes to ask is, if you had unlimited budget, all the actors you could get, really you could have anything, anyone, what would be your dream project?
It is a story from the 20s. It's from P.T. Grilli. Its name is Cocaine. I think somebody can know this novel. And I think it's very expensive because it's in the 20s in Paris, and you can't shoot it in Paris now. I think you have to make it in Montevideo or Havana or whatever. But this project, what is, I think, very expensive.
I wanted to make the first psycho-thrilled martial arts movie in Germany, because I love Eastern, and with a good story. Not only to have the fight scenes, and I love fight scenes and I love action, but I love to have a good story for a martial arts movie in Germany.
I had to think some seconds, but now I know. I don't know if anyone knows this book, House of Leaves, by Mark Z. Danielewski. It's a very, very strange and very big book, and this is a horror book, and I think you can't make a movie out of it, but I would try if I would have all the money, and I would take, Natalie Portman and Clive Owen and Keira Knightley and Jude Law, and I'd find someone, I guess.
Half the people here would go see it, at least.
Est-ce qu'il y a une toute dernière question dans le public? Is er nog een laatste vraag uit het publiek? All right, so just, yes, sure.
I'm a martial arts expert. I'm practicing martial arts since 28 years, and also teaching people in Hamburg. I think Harun has very nice, very good idea, and hope that will be realized soon. Thanks.
Thank you very much for coming, all of you. Very, very nice movies. Thank you.
Thank you.